in these cases of somebody who is being harmed physically, but because it's a black man and they're being held accountable for their wrongdoings and their misdeeds, now all of a sudden it's an attack on black men. Now, this is not to discredit when there is an actual attack on black men, but these black men that we're currently talking about apparently have a history of destruction. They have a history of certain things, of violence. They have a history. And now DDG, he's relatively young, so he actually has time to change. He has time to take this lesson in. But with this cohort of toxicity that's coming out there, where is everybody fault but his fault? Is everybody fault but their fault for their actions because they were allowed to be in this little bubble where it was like protect them at all costs? Nah, protect these black women at all costs. In particular, these women. Now, in Meg Thee Stallion case, because she acknowledged in her testimony that she actually didn't see who shot her, if I recall correctly. Apparently, there was the door was in the way or whatever the case may be. So in that case, I would be more than happy to give Tory reasonable doubt, you know. And so, but a jury of his peers didn't find any reasonable doubt, apparently, and that's why he was in jail. That's why he was convicted, along with the fact that I believe he already was on probation for a gun charge. I'm not quite sure. So I'm not going to speak on things too much that I don't know about in that regards. But what I do know, it looks like attack on black men really means don't hold black men accountable for the fuck shit that they've been doing. That's what it looks like to me. And now you may take what I'm saying as attack, but it's not, because all I'm doing is saying, hey, let's hold these men accountable for their actions. Stop re-victimizing the women who finally spoke up. This situation with DDG, for example, occurred back in January, and she just not decided to get a restraining order. Or the fact that Meg Thee Stallion actually didn't file the charges initially. She didn't press charges. It was the state that went after him. Or the fact that Cassie, after constantly, and people say, oh, it's because he turned her down and he's now looking at somebody else and she got jealous, or she got paid out. But you know, wasn't paid out, even if she got paid out from the abuse, even if she got paid out from the hotel incident, which was only a recent payout. That payout didn't happen in 2016, like some folks are claiming. That payout happened recently. Or was it the fact that she was being extorted? Her mom was being extorted not to release her sex tapes, because Diddy was like, hey, if she don't come back, I'm going to release her sex tapes. So here's my question to you. When does it become, let's hold these men accountable, versus, oh, it's an attack on black men. It's a reason to bring down these particular black men. Because there's a lot of black men out there and they're not being attacked. There's a lot of black men out there who are experiencing the good life. They're high on power, rich on whatever, their wealth and whatnot, but you don't see them being dragged in the media because of their own personal wrongdoings. So let's stop this bullshit argument when it comes to these particular cases about, oh, there's an attack on black men. No, these black men are being held accountable for their actions. And you know what? I'm going to say it's about damn time, because once again, it's always something about the gender war, black women doing this. Black women are not oppressing black men. Let's stop the bullshit and stop the cap and constantly talk about how black women are oppressing black men. We are not. We are not unaliving black men at a stunning rate. We are not keeping black men from their kids at a astounding rate. As a matter of fact, if black men really want their children, they can go to court. She even offered, in DDG case, was like, hey, let's go to court, get your visitation. And he was like, no, let's keep it out of court. Okay, she said, fine. She tried to work it out with him. And he chose to be who he was because he wanted to portray that drama of, oh, my baby being kept from me, when in reality, he was forcing that narrative upon himself, because it's so easy to blame the women in this society. It was easier for folks to believe that she was the bitter baby mama versus him being the bitter baby daddy because she was moving on. Being a bitter baby daddy because she finally was like, you know what? Let me take a stand. Let me do this. Because she could have ended up being another Cassie. And then y'all would have been like, oh, well, why she didn't take a stand? Why she didn't do anything about it? Why she stayed with them? That's why. Because of folks like you who judge no matter which way it's going to go, because it's damned if the woman do and it's damned if it don't. So I would just say, Diddy deserve everything that he's getting. I don't give a fuck what anybody else have to say about that, because at the end of the day, he was dead ass wrong. And you may say, well, what about such and such person? Like, for example, when Bill Cosby was on there, you guys kept saying, what about Harvey Weinstein? He was being handled too. You know, you're like, oh, well, what about whataboutism doesn't stop what's wrong from being wrong. Whataboutism doesn't mean that we give these men passes, or even women in the cases when we have women that's doing wrong, give them passes by saying, what about this or what about that? No, let's hold these people accountable. If they're wrong, they're wrong. It has nothing to do with, oh, black men are under attack. No, they're dead ass wrong. But that's just my perspective. I've been hearing a lot of your perspective already, but I will be more than happy to listen to your perspective as well. So shoot it in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's information that I don't even have that I don't know, because all I'm seeing is what I read in the media. All I'm reading or seeing is the information that's coming out there. And just like everybody else, we all are forming opinions.